I finished a lot of games the last few weeks. I've been playing a lot of different games, as you know. I told you I'd finished The Last of Us, which has a pretty downer ending that makes you kind of break. And then shortly after that, I played Spec Ops, which I told you about. Spec Ops Took Line, which I played, and that has quite a Debbie Downer ending, and you finish it and you feel like a knob. Shortly after that, I then finished the Walking Dead game.
Okay. What did you? Well, that's supposed to be a real emotional roller coaster in of itself.
A Debbie, yeah, which again has quite a downer ending that kind of bums you out. And do you know, I thought I've just finished 3 really miserable games all in a row. I feel really sad. But then Guacamelee had a costume patch that lets you run around dressed as a chicken. And all was well with the world. Hello again, everybody. You are listening to Twin Humanities, the Dark Souls podcast. My name is Paddy. Friend, what's your name?
I am CJ.
And CJ is your name. Yes, and we are once again, after it feels like about a month that we've not actually properly talked about Dark Souls.
That E3 stuff got in the way, and then
E3, and then E3 happened again, and then the Demon Souls thing. The joyful time we had with Demon Souls. And now, finally, after about 1 million years, I've played some more Dark Souls. Which was weird, because it's like, it kind of felt like it was familiar when I jumped in, but I had that initial kind of slight balance problem where I got back used to Demon Souls.
You were used to the more weightier content.
Yeah, and I was kind of nipping around like a crazy man. And I was like, oh, I nearly ran off some ledges quite quickly, you know, when you're like, oh. But yeah, I was back in the game. It took about 5 minutes, but I was back, you know, in the proper swing of things.
Because to give people an idea, Patrick sort of messaged me on Twitter saying that, we should do a podcast later. I was like, well, we haven't been back on Dark Souls. He was like, I've been back on Dark Souls.
Yes, I have.
You dirty bitch.
I had an hour free, and I thought I'd fill it. And what better way than with lots and lots of pain?
Yes.
Yeah, so because it's been a very long time, so if you don't know where I was, you know, I understand. But where I just finished up, I had just finished up the Demon Fire Sage in the Demon Ruins. I just popped him, and I'd called it quits there for a bit, and I'd gone and I'd met Quilana, I think her name is.
Yeah.
The fair lady, the spider lady that's pretty.
Okay.
And I just met her. I think that's where I left it off. So yes.
Hold on. Have you taken out Quelag?
Quelag, yes.
Yeah, because Demon Fire Sage is later on.
Yeah, the demon fight is the one that looks a bit like an asylum demon.
Yeah, he's much further on. Isn't
He was the guy I just killed, but then I kind of tracked back to her. There's a lift that takes you back up, and I've never actually met her. I'd never seen her before. I didn't know there was a secret door, and I went up and I saw a sign on the floor. Like, oh, there's someone in here. And I'd walked past. I'd not seen it until this point. But yeah, I'd met her and didn't understand a word she said. And I understand you need an item to understand her, and I thought, sod it, can't be bothered. Moving on.
And there is also the realization that she's when you join her covenant, you give her humanity.
Yeah.
And essentially, that's what's keeping her alive, and that's what her sister is doing by killing all those people. She's killing people.
Kirk as well does that.
Yeah, Kirk's going through the levels to keep her alive. So because you're thinking of you've got Quelag, you've got the last that you've met there, the brother, Ceaseless Discharge, doesn't do anything. He's watching over the bones of his dead sister until you pick off the gold hemmed clothing from it. So once again, you're going through Dark Souls, and whereas you normally the hero, it's pretty clear that you're just fucking with people, and you're ruining the world, and for all of this, I must do the right thing. You're really killing a lot of people for your own end.
You're crossing the line that the mafia don't cross, which is, no man, we don't do to other families, y'all. I can't do a mafia accent.
No, that was wonderful. That was entirely its own thing.
Lovely. Yeah, we don't do it to family, bird. That's what mafia people talk like now. Change it. I don't care. Don Corleone. Horse head on the table. Boosh. I killed all your family. Yeah. So yeah, I thought, right, time to get rolling forwards. Brilliant.
How did you get on with Demon Fire Sage? Because he in my first game especially, where I think I was sort of super tanky and fat rolling quite a lot. That fight bothered me quite a lot from the first
it was
time
one and done when I did it. One and done.
Yeah, wow.
Which, even though I was using my Kellogg sword, which was flame damage against a flame guy, I was still doing all right. And I did that a few times in this entire flamey, horrible area where I've used a flame weapon on a flame thing and wondered why not much happened. And a good example of that is as I progressed and I met the centipede demon. Which is a supreme example of what I did wrong. And I noticed on the way in, because I was a human, I could summon in Solaire to help me, which was nice. I was like, oh, come on then, friend, join me. Let's go have a little potter around. And you go through the door and you get a cutscene of this giant multi-headed thing with all the legs. It's not the design of it, it's not actually a centipede per se. It's more of it's got like dragon legs almost.
Yeah, it's a bit lobsterish. It's a little bit crabbish as well.
Yeah, it's like a centipede dragon, if such a thing could exist. Let's go with that, centipede dragon. And you potter in, and yeah, you sort of think, okay, there's a lot of lava here. Oh, there's a very thin outside passage. I'll walk along this. Solaire doesn't give two shits, ran straight on the lava. Like, he did not care. He just went straight for it, and he was doing all right.
Did he do all right? Because I made a different choice to you prior to that, and I don't think I got Solaire for that fight.
No, he came along with me. He did die halfway through, but that was because I wasn't paying attention to him and I was trying to equip the orange charred ring that it gave me and also put on a sword that wasn't flame damage. And by the time I'd come out of the menu, he was dead.
It's that sort of jump and drop as well that it kind of does you in with a little bit.
Actually, no, I thought that was pretty pants. The jump and drop was terrible because once I got the orange charred ring, I started fighting because I was kind of sticking to the outside and kind of letting Solaire take most of the heavy lifting.
Did you know to go for that though? Because the first number of times that I fought him, I hadn't got a clue.
It kind of gave it to me. I don't remember picking it up. I remember the message going orange charred ring. I was like, oh, okay. Did I pick that up? I don't remember picking that up. So I literally ran to the left as I went in and kind of just stood there. And it kind of it felt like it gave it to me rather than I picked it up. I was like, oh, maybe it was when Solaire died. I don't know. It as like you cocked it up, but here's the ring. But yeah, I definitely didn't like go and pick up an item. Maybe I did by accident, but I didn't see it anyway. So I kind of ran back to the entrance, jumped in, put it on because I'd already kind of read about it before from my runs around to the demon ruins trying to work out how to get to the items that are in the lava. So I was aware that I was going to get it soon. So I knew exactly what I was like, right, put that on, quick, get the enchanted Falchion out because that isn't fire damage, put that all on. And then I went to fight him properly and I tucked his tail off at first. So he's got a big tail, I thought chop his tail off, and then his tail kind of wakes up and attacks you as well, which was hilarious because I wasn't ready for it at all. I was like, oh yeah, cut his tail off, there should be a weapon. Oh wait, no, it's just another enemy. Brilliant. Which then his tail does respawn as well. He grows another one, which is like fucking brilliant. And he did the jump move. Like I got rid of the tail monster and I kind of fighted him properly. And I kind of got behind him and he was doing his jump move. So I was backing off a bit when he did his jump. But like when the gaping dragon does it, he leaps up and he comes down pointing a more accurate, a better direction. Like he'll leap up and he'll spin in the air and he'll land looking at you. The centipede demon doesn't do that. He jumped up and he was landing the same way. So I could just keep wailing on his back legs. He'd jump up, I'd stand back a bit, let him land, and go back in and keep doing it. He didn't turn around for at least 6 or 7 jumps.
Don't turn around, unless you're gonna see my heart breaking. Don't turn around, that you're gonna see me crying. Just walk away, tear me apart that you're leaving. I'm letting you go. Uh-oh. And I want you to know. I didn't know that there was a different monster for his tail.
Yeah. I thought
I
it'd be
don't
a
think I'd.
weapon, and it was like you forgot what game you were playing.
Isn't this great though? That Dark Souls goes like, yeah, if it's got a tail, it's always a weapon, and then it gets to a point, it goes troll trollalalalal trollalalalal.
Not when the tail has a face. So yeah, I
That's a
took him
life
out.
lesson for everybody.
If the tail has a face, it's not a weapon. But yeah, I took him out. I did it in one. I used up quite a lot of Estus, I will admit. Running around in the lava, getting hurt very slowly because of the orange charge ring, but still getting hurt nonetheless. And by the time I managed to switch my weapon out, I kind of ran around and I took him out, and I was feeling quite pleased with myself. I'd killed him. I thought, right. I looked around a bit, picked up a couple of items that are kind of sitting around in that area. Saw a big door-looking thing that I tried to attack and couldn't get through. And that's when I got lost. Because there is a passage in there that you move to get through, that you use to go through. It's just a tunnel. I didn't see that. So I ran all the way back to the demon ruins. And I ran through all of the lava in the demon ruins, picking all the stuff up, exploring every crevice. And I maybe spent an hour doing this.
It's a little bit hidden though, because there's even been points where I've played it on my second playthrough and I've gone, yeah, you know where you're going from here. And it's just, where am I?
Yeah.
Where is it? Where is it?
And
I don't know.
pottered around so much, and I went back different directions. Like I fought those what are they called, the Taurus demons back at sort of the demon ruins entrance again. I fought about 1,000 of those Weeble fire guys. The guys in the demon ruins, they're round guys and they kind of hover towards you and they belch fire. But they remind me of Weebles because they wobble but they don't fall down. So yeah, I ran around for a very long time, and I even went back into that area, ran around there, didn't see a way through, went back, came back again, and then I thought, right, I'm going to hug the wall and see what I can find, and it was just like, oh my god, I'm an idiot. It's right there. It's a bit hard to see, I'll give it, but if you just follow the left-hand wall, it's very clearly the way forwards. And I don't know why I thought that room wouldn't be the way forwards. Maybe I got a bit disheartened when that big, obvious-looking door didn't open.
From there, because I don't think I quite put two and two together, sort of exactly where you were. But did you have a conversation with Solaire, and did it break your heart?
Yeah. Well, no, not there, not yet. There was things happened between then.
Okay.
Things happened, but I didn't meet Solaire yet. I did meet him again, but not for a while. I went through the way you're supposed to go, the tunnel in the centipede demon room, and felt like an absolute idiot. And as you kind of potter through, there's fire and there's kind of, those awkward tree branches you can stand on, which are cool. Just run between the two tree branches.
But he's before that. He's at the bonfire before that.
I didn't meet him at a bonfire.
What? Really?
No, I didn't see him at a bonfire. He came with me to the centipede demon, but I didn't meet him again for ages.
Oh, because he's usually at the bonfire before you start running for those trees.
No,
and
I didn't see him.
he gives a really, hold on, just give me a minute.
No worries.
My stupid neighbours. People come for them, and because there's two buttons, one for the flat above and one for here, they're like, they'll press both buttons. Fuck off.
Geniuses.
Anyway,
right, where were we?
yeah, there's you normally get Solaire sort of near that bonfire, and he has a speech that's just like that's. You know how positive he's been throughout the entire thing.
Jolly cooperation and all.
Yeah, he's just kneeling behind this bonfire, and he's just desolate. Like, what am I searching for? Am I just a fool? And just really, like, seriously, check out this speech on YouTube or something. It is because he's been possibly the most positive thing, with Onion Bro as well.
Don't.
Yeah, your mate,
my friend Onion Bro.
But he's been one of the most positive things in the game, and then to see him just utterly broken is just horrible. It really, really hurts me because
In a way, I'm kind of glad I didn't see
loves
that.
Slayer.
I'm kind of glad I didn't see that thing because that would have bummed me out. Given the incredibly bummed out week I've been having with video games, just so much downers. But yeah, I didn't see him. I looked around that bonfire. There was nothing there. So I went forward into the lava pools, and I met all of the horrible things that live in lava. The horrible things that live in lava. The arses of dragons. And it's like I was looking and I could see something moving ahead, and I thought, what is that? That's a big thing and it's moving. So you move a little bit closer and you kind of spy, and you can't really work out what it is. So I fired off an exploratory arrow. As I've got my Ferris bow. It's plus 15 now. It's got a bitch of a range. I thought, right, I'm gonna have a go at this, and then the back half of a dragon starts running at me, and I ran away. And I ended up kind of standing just out of reach of it and kind of, shooting arrows at it when it stopped, sort of, having a complete fool moment of jumping around, and it was doing kind of stomps and stamps. And I was just looking at it thinking, how did this back end of a dragon come to be here? Why is it only half a dragon?
Well, you've got to, if you tie this into Dark Souls 2, and we're talking about Seath's experiments upon his own.
Yeah.
You've got the zombie dragons sort of in Valley of the Drakes and in the Painted World.
The one that rips itself in half to come get you.
Yeah, and he's clearly been mauling creatures, but leaving some kind of semblance of life left within this phantom husk.
It just struck me as bizarre because it's missing all the kind of the effective parts of itself. Like, a dragon, it's got claws that it can use to claw at you, and it's got teeth it can use to bite, and it can belch flame or poison or whatever the flavour of the day happens to be. But it's like it's a torso. Like, it's not even a torso. It's just the waist down of just some stomping legs.
But it's one of those things where you laugh at it, and then it tries to stomp you down. And they like, woo! And then one of those little statues comes away and breathes fire on you. And you're like, why? How?
Why you? So as I move forwards, I shot a couple more, and I'd kind of take them back to the safe zone that I'd found, and I could kind of sit there and snipe them happily. And you kind of get around the corner, and you look out at a very large lava pool. You can kind of see the way forward. You can see the tree branches kind of spiraling away, and you can kind of see some little statues. But you can also see about 15 more of them. Just stood there. And I was thinking, do I have to kill them all? Like, is this part of the game? So I thought, I'm going to try and sneak in. I'm going to see if they don't care. And I kind of pottered along carefully, kind of following my tree branches and going around. There's a point very on where you sort of turn a corner. And because I was playing it during the day, now my TV is set up by my window, so the light comes in and it makes it quite hard to see what's on the TV. So like the blacks get really black and you can't. It's like essentially it's darkness.
Yeah.
Combine this with Lost Izalith, which is essentially bright oranges and black. And like what you see is essentially you either see orangeness or you see blackness. So I run around and I see a big blob of blackness. And I look up, and one of those dragons was, I shit you not, 3 yards away. And if it had a face, like I know it doesn't have a face. Let's assume that the space between its hips is its face, staring at me. And I froze and I looked at it. And I waited. Like, I thought, do I flee? Do I fight? And I waited. And I froze. And I stared at him. And nothing happened. And I kind of tiptoed along. And he didn't attack me. And that's when I realised I can get through this without fighting them. Brilliant. Progress on through a bit.
I think the fog ring helps as well a little bit.
I didn't have that.
Okay.
Well, the problem is that if I have the fog ring, one of my ring slots is the ring of favour and protection, which I've still not taken off. One of them's the lava ring, and then I don't have another ring slot. Okay. So I'm kind of stuck with one. So,
true.
Yeah, so you've got you either walk quietly or get burned by all the lava. I think I chose the lava. So as you move through, you meet a couple of the weebles, and it turns out fighting the weebles pisses off the dragons, because at least 2 of them run at me while I was fighting the weebles, and I panicked, and I managed to run inside. There's like one of the kind of the waypoints that got on the lava field is like a little house looking thing. You can kind of run inside there and be safe-ish. So I kind of got in there and I got safe. Mad dash across some lava to get to the safe zone. Travelled on up the thing and moved on to the next bit of Izalith. Izalith? Izalith. Let's call it Izalith. I think it's very shortly after that you meet your first octopus thing.
Eh?
They're kind of like...
Yeah, I know the one you mean. The blub, blub, blub,
blub, blub. They look a bit like sea anemones, but with octopus trunks.
Yeah, piece of poo to take down though.
Yeah, really easy. I panicked a bit when I saw that. I thought, oh Jesus Christ, that's got a mouth for a head.
I think it's because it's something that you've not seen before. Because I was doing my thing of doing the exploratory of firing off a few poison arrows and seeing what it took. But when it sort of got down, it's quite easy to sort of dodge around and stuff.
Yeah, I realised they were quite easy. And again, there's like a million weebles on that run up. So many weebles as you're travelling up through Izalith, fuck. And it was very shortly after I got past all these weebles and the first, I think they're called Chaos Eaters or something.
Okay.
Let's call them that, Chaos Eaters. Got past the first one or two of those and had a little run around and I saw an item in a cave. And I thought, oh goody, there's an item in there. And I saw a sign on the floor that said, be wary of item. I thought, okay, right, I'll move in carefully because there'll be an ambush. So I trot in, thinking I'm really smart, I'm ready for a fight, I'm ready for this, I'm really clever. And the floor vanishes. And I fall into a chamber.
I know the pit you mean.
Yeah, filled with Chaos Eaters. And you kind of land slightly above it. I landed above them. It's like a 2-leveled chamber, and they're on the bottom, and you land slightly on top. And you look down, and you can just see these kind of 3 or 4 mouths looking at you. And do you know when you think you want to do an experiment? I didn't do it, but I wanted to jump on one and see if I could land in it. And like, does it kill you if you jump in its head? Is that a thing that can happen if you're that stupid?
I think you possibly could. The drop attack works on everything, doesn't it?
But this has got a mouth. Like the entire top of its head is just a big, round, kind of 3-meter long, like mouth.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that.
Like a sarlacc almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, pre reimagining where they gave it a kind of a beak where it's just a hole with teeth. So yeah, I dropped down into the poison swamp that they live in as well. Got poisoned so much. Like I got poisoned to buggery down there. Picked up the odd few items, and then it took me 10 minutes to actually get out of that place because I got so lost. It wasn't that I was lost; it was a very simple area. There's a lower bit, and there's stairs up, and then the routes take you out. I didn't realise there were 2 sets of stairs.
I think there's the aspect of having to get on those sort of little frames, if you will, and pause and sort of try and watch your poison go down or that sort of stuff as well.
Oh, I just took the poison in my stride and sprinted for it.
Oh, right.
I just took it and ran. I got poisoned, ran, got safe, chugged the moss, kept running. What I was doing was Estusing to kind of keep the flow of poison down and wait until I was definitely clear before I was going to moss. Because I don't like wasting stuff. I've got 40 of them, but I don't want to waste them.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, I can be poisoned for another half an hour. It'd be fine. And yeah, after a good 10 minutes of searching, found the second staircase, which leads directly outwards, and felt like an idiot. So I was thinking, am I going to have to homeward bone this? Is this literally a dead end? So yeah, got out. I met there's a pyromancer.
Hold me closer, pyromancer.
Oh yeah. Which is a dangerous pyromancer. It's just a random, almost like a Black Phantom one that's just waiting around a corner for you. And you run up and they start immediately kind of aggro chucking firestorm everywhere. Which cracked me up.
You know that pit that all the Chaos Eaters are in as well? Yeah. Do you know that's one of the ending points for Onion Bro as well?
Is it?
Yeah, there's a point that I only got to on this playthrough where he's waiting sort of down there, and he basically says, we something along the lines of, we do keep meeting like this, and I'm embarrassed that you've got me out of so many situations.
Hmm.
And he says that, well, it's time for me to repay the favor. And he was like, have at you, I am a knight of Catalina. And like jumps down and starts laying the shit into them. Like, absolutely tearing them to pieces. And he dies down there. The poison sort of kills him.
Oh.
But he goes out showing that he's hero, if you will. And it's there's the other ending whereby kind of his daughter kills him as well. When she meets him in just before the Crystal Caves, I think. So there's a number of ways that the characters can go, but I got that one this time, and I was like, oh right, that's kind of cool.
That seems kind of... Well, in some ways that sounds kind of cool, and in some ways it sounds like he just goes out like a punk. Like, I know he's like, I will defend you. You didn't need to jump down.
Yeah, I think he does, because the dark sign is taking him over. I think that's part of it. And when his daughter meets him, eventually, because his daughter's looking for him, that's it, in the near the Crystal Caverns, near Seath's Archives. Sorry, Duke's Archives. And then when you see Onion Bro and his daughter in Ash Lake, I think that's the point where, because he'd been cast out of his town for having the dark sign anyway. But I think it was, as he wandered around, it was, even though this dark mark was growing, what stopped it from taking him over was the fact that he wanted to get back to his wife and child, that they kept him going. And the daughter is going along basically with a message that his wife has died. And that's the reason that she's gone to find him. And that's the point in Ash Lake where he finally hollows and she kills her own father. So on the other side of that, you've got this dark sign that's slowly grown within him. And perhaps at the point where you meet him near the Chaos Eaters, he realizes that he's a goner, and he wants to go out bravely. He wants to go out fighting, and he wants to help the person that's kept him going. So
wants to go out like a boss almost.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he goes out like a punk at all. At all.
Oh, there you go. That makes more sense. Well, to be fair, I've not, because of the unfortunate thing that happened in Orlando. I'm not really aware of what happens with him. So if that's different, then it sounded that's good. Because I don't know what he does, because he died in Orlando. That's where his story ends. He aggros.
But it's really cool that that there are these different arcs for the character that can depend on different things. And judging from what I think you're going to tell me later on, given that I believe you went past the Titanite demon, there's something that I found out following that, which stunned me, which I had no idea. But it was all based on a choice that I made in the game, and even you're telling me today that Solaire was available for the Centipede boss fight, and wasn't at the bonfire where I'd seen him as a broken man. So,
but anyway,
it's phenomenal. It really, really is phenomenal.
So,
pulling thread.
Yeah, I got out of there, killed the pyromancer, saw a big door, and thought, right, there's your fog door. Nah, what else is there? And I saw, like you say, I saw the Titanite demon. I didn't see the Titanite demon. I saw the big long bridge where the Titanite demon lives. And that's, again, it's the Dark Souls jingle of big guy in a small area.
I think he's a piece of piss to take out, though.
Oh yeah, I sniped him. I wasn't gonna get in front of him because I'm not really that kind of character. I can't really take the hits on the shield, one or two, and I'm shield broken. So I will admit I was a complete coward, and I sat there slightly behind one of the pillars, and I shot maybe 80 arrows at him.
Yeah, he does take a fair few.
Takes a lot. Picked up his Titanite that he dropped. Felt very pleased with myself. And I carried on walking down that road, which is basically straight forwards from there. So I kept on going. And I saw something in the distance moving around. And I heard kind of noises. And I saw some of these bugs skittering about. And I saw someone fighting the bugs. And then my heart sank a bit. because I realised who it was, and it was Sunbro. And I got there, and he had like one of them on his head, and he'd clearly gone mental. I can't remember what it was. It was something like "I am the sun" or "I've done it."
Yeah, I found my son. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was. Turns out the maggot helm that gives you the sunlight gives you a light on your head, essentially.
Yeah.
So essentially, he's taken a torch and put it on his head and lost his mind.
He's not done that. He's
jumped on his head?
He's been pounced on by one of the creatures. But from what I've been able to tell, that if you run into that area and you take out the bugs, you can stop the bugs from getting to Solaire. So it's your fault.
Really?
Seriously,
you can do that.
There's so much in this game, mate.
I was going fast, though. I was running towards him. The first time I saw him, he had the bug on his head.
Yeah, as I understand it, that's kind of. Yeah, I think the first one absolutely tears off, and I think it's that one. If you get it, it doesn't get Solaire.
What a bastard! But yeah, he lost his crap, and I fought the bugs, hoping that he wouldn't, attack me, which was jokes. He immediately turned on me, and then it was Onion Bro all over again. Sunbro down.
Given that you engaged the Onion, was your heart in your mouth even more? Not just that it was Solaire, not just that you've seen Solaire sort of going mad, but was the sort of the taste of onion?
There was an oniony flavour.
Yeah,
definitely. It was on the back of my tongue, definitely. I was just, that feeling of, oh God, not again. Oh God, no. The coolest people are the ones that lose their minds and beat the shit out of me. Why? I have to kill him. It's not that I'm murdering him. It's that I kill him or I die.
I'll put this to you though. That and I'm wondering if this is the same with the majority of people, that given that you have to take on that fight, given that you have to, I wonder how many people did like I did, and after Sunbro had fallen, are just like, I'm going to wear your clothes in honor of you.
I put on his armor.
Of course you did. Good man. I am proud of you.
That was the first thing I did.
I wonder if anybody at all didn't do that, because as soon as he'd gone, I was like, I'm so sorry. I will become you. I will stand in your costume. I will honor the things that you stood for. And when
I will gain 40 pounds.
When you kind of I think the shield's probably the biggest part of it, because the shield is a fantastic looking shield, but when you put that shield on, it just, and you see the massive sort of, because we've not seen his shield particularly.
Not really, no.
I don't think, but it gave me chills. And then for the rest of the game, I think my next priority, I just leveled the shit out of all of that stuff.
Well, I put it on for a bit, and I praised the sun a couple of times. I felt sad.
Solaire.
Yeah, for God's sake. It's like stop giving me stuff and taking it away. It's like, he was my friend. He was the coolest guy. And he just helped me like an hour ago. And he was totally fine. And I looked it up, actually. I did look this up afterwards, because I know you can save him, but I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how. Like, this is one of the few things that maybe you need the wiki for, because if you didn't, how would you know how to save him without a wiki?
I just think that if it was in olden days and there wasn't internet, and it was
internet
magazines and things like that, or just people trying new stuff, like somebody in their 7th or 8th playthrough will just think, I wonder if I can save Solaire. And would have just ran through, and then
look how much time people spent trying to save Aeris in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Christ, I mean that rumour didn't go away for like a decade. Jesus.
But I just think it's really cool that you even see things like on the video game sort of playthroughs. If somebody sort of trolls the live chat and goes like, kill Solaire, you just see like 99% of people just go, don't kill him, don't you dare kill him. They're still giving Matt Lee's crap about him killing.
About Onion Bro. I've still been giving crap about Onion Bro. All my Twitter friends every now and again will mention Onion Bro, and then I feel sad.
He killed Kieran as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that one.
Honestly, she loved. She,
Well,
ah,
she's got cool gear.
honestly,
I,
who next? Hawkeye Goff?
I brought up
Dare
to
you?
someone the other day, and they had that gear, and I thought, oh, that is good gear. That
How
is the kind of gear I would kill for.
how dare you? You humans are all the same.
Yeah, but anyway, I looked it up. I looked up, the death, trying to work out how to save him.
Mm.
He's not actually hollow there. He's
Uh-huh.
human and he's mental.
Yeah,
Like, he's
I
not gone hollow at all. He's still a bloke, and he's gone completely off his rocker,
presume the sunlight maggots sort of
buried in his head.
feed on the mind. Yeah, so if you just imagine sort of like staring into the sun,
Mm.
I think it's like that. He's just blinded and he's half out of his skull.
Like that picture of the cat online with the wide eyes going, "It's beautiful."
So yeah, it's
Yeah, so Solaire, some bro down. I poured out an Estus for him.
oh good. That sounds beautiful. Like pouring it by the side of a bonfire and just watching the bonfire just go.
One for my Hobie that can't be with us. I might go back to the sunlight altar where you do the things and pour one out over there.
At least do a praise the sun wearing Solaire's
Oh yeah, definitely,
outfit. Because
definitely.
I don't know if I've mentioned before. I created a Japanese account just to get the free Dark Souls PlayStation backgrounds, the animated ones, and there's one of the sunlight altar and Solaire staring out of the sun, and then every now and again he'll do a praise the sun,
Oh
like,
yeah,
and then turn to you. Yeah, and they're all free. So if you go on YouTube, you can find out how to
have a look and
create a
find them.
Japanese
Oh, wicked.
account and try to get them. But there's about 12 of them.
Ooh.
So there's ones for each of the covenants and different places and stuff. So I think about 10 or 12, and there's some really good stuff there.
I
So.
will look for those. Well, I had a thought. Maybe I might go back to that sunlight altar, and if I knew I wasn't going to lose it, just put all his items down on the floor and walk off.
Was oh god, yeah, that'd be
But then I want them. So
yeah.
yeah,
There is that, but there's a part of me that just completely sighed when you said that. It sounds well, you know the thing with the sunlight altar anyway, don't you?
yeah. Is it a statue of maybe him
Well, it was
or Gwyn?
alluded to
Hmm.
on the Vati video things that you didn't know about Dark Souls, or it might have been a piece that he did about Solaire and Gwyn. But I think that it alludes to the fact that Solaire was the son of Gwyn, and that Gwyn lost a daughter, and I think it doesn't tell the tale, but it's believed that Solaire was the reason that this girl died, or was blamed for her death,
Okay.
and that Solaire kind of either was castigated or walked away, and that Gwyn destroyed all of the statues.
That's interesting because there's in Anor Londo there's a lot of places where there's statues that there's like two and there's an empty hole.
Yeah, and basically that's it. He sort of got rid of those. Also, that Gwyn's other son he raised as a girl,
Yeah, I read that.
and that's the battle that you can do in Anor Londo as well with the I can't think of the name. There's a character with kind of like octopus legs or something, and who's basically a boy that's been raised as a girl.
Is it Gwendolyn? I think his name is it.
Yeah, that's it. Dogs on Gwendolyn, yeah. And it's all sort of tied together. But something that I read is that if you save, if you manage to save Solaire, or you don't go down to that passage, that you don't go sort of past the Titanite demon and stuff.
Yeah.
That on the final level, when you're waiting, when you're walking to do the big battle with Gwyn, Solaire is waiting to do the battle with you.
Ooh. Ooh. Do you know if you have to save him for that, or
Yeah,
do you
you
know if
do.
you have to just avoid that bit?
I think you have to. I think avoiding that bit will do it, because if you've not met the character at that point,
Hmm.
then that's not the case. But
Maybe.
Solaire will be there for the battle with Gwen,
Hmm.
which, if we're talking about, if this was a film, and you can imagine sort of Solaire walking up to you as you're going into this battle, which you think you're going to do alone,
Hmm.
and essentially you've almost got a Star Wars set up there as well, with you know the sun SON that was cast out. That, and is that what he's meaning by "I'm trying to find my own son," like a level of warmth,
Hmm.
or I've always thought that Solaire was seeking love, was seeking a feeling that has been banished from his life, that if his family have cast him out, perhaps if he has lost a sister, that that's what he's searching for. He's searching for meaning in life. He's searching for, and the fact that he's so truly brilliant to when you see him, funny, quirky, that he puffs out his chest and
Hmm.
really believes in you, I think is fascinating. Um, yeah, I genuinely do. Plus,
Hmm.
Gwen is the Lord of Fire. Gwen is one of the people that uh, set off the Firekeepers and themselves, and the burning of humanity, and this sort of power outage that they have within the world. That the world is dying, and the gods are a sham, and all that's been usurped, and
Hmm.
the gods are being judged as well. Um, that it all fascinates me. It genuinely fascinates me, and it tumbles round in my mind. And the more I play it, and the more I see phenomenal videos like the Vati video one, the more everything sort of glues together and becomes more and more
The
fascinating.
more it gets stuck in your head.
Well, it just shows you the world that's there, and the planning they must have done for the backstory behind this, to then allude to it enigmatically. It's
Hmm.
just stunning. It's a lesson in storytelling.
Just a sort of hint that it's there, but not expressly tell you what's there.
Yeah, it's people have enjoyed tying things together, but people have done this on their second playthrough, more or less. Everybody
Hmm.
just plays it for the world
For the
how much
combat and the
fun it is.
challenge, yeah.
That same combat and challenge and level of enjoyment brings people back a second time, and it's then that they start reading the item descriptions, particularly, and it's then they start tying the world together and the lore together, and
Hmm.
having that as a secondary aspect. Most games will go into a new game plus, and all it will be is level the enemies are harder, and to balance out that you're a little bit tougher. But having that as the hook for your second playthrough and beyond is superb,
Hmm. It's that thing.
because
It's
it's
hindsight.
been
It's like
there
going
all
through.
along.
Yeah, it's like when you read a book for the second time, and
Yeah.
you kind of. The one I'm reading at the moment is a book that I do like. A guy called Joe Abercrombie writes. It's called the First Law
Hmm.
series, and the first book of that is called The Blade Itself. And I raved all about that when I was reading it at the time, and I've read 4 or 5 more books of his since. And I'm reading it again,
Hmm.
and like I can see things in the third book, because this the first ones he wrote was a trilogy,
Hmm.
and I can see bits cropping out and thinking, oh my god, they foreshadowed that. Him not being him. Like you see who the bad guy is before it happens.
Uh
And you kind of get hints of it and you think, oh my god. So
huh.
that's what was happening there, and he was working for him the whole time. And it's so obvious now, but at the time it just looked like cryptic bullshit.
Hmm.
And you're reading it back thinking, oh my god, this is brilliant. It's like you must have planned this out so well. And then yeah, I love that. I love going back and being able to sort of get it and going, it's clever. Now I understand what's happening in this bit. And I think Dark Souls will have the same thing, where you go through and like you get a better understanding of who these people are that you
Hmm.
meet, because you've read their item descriptions, as it were. I mean, things like the Solaire gear I picked up. I looked at the item descriptions for that, and it was like, it's not especially good gear. It's just he was good.
Mm-hmm.
Like his skill and his resolve were where his prowess came from, not from his gear. It's pretty average otherwise. I was like, oh, that's brilliant. Just that Solaire is a complete dude.
Well, we all know that anyway, don't we?
Hmm.
But there was a great quote that was highlighted on Polygon recently, and I don't know if let me just see if I can find it. Here we go. It was in the post. More developers should think like Hidetaka Miyazaki. And the quote was, "The greatest tool for narrative is the world you create for it to exist in. A well-designed world could tell its story in silence."
Ooh, that's clever.
That's amazing.
That's brilliant. And he's got a point.
He's absolutely got a point. And a lot of folks, it's one of the things that many people have picked up on with the game. You know, a lot of games are forcing cutscenes and narrative on you and stuff, and yet one of the most rich stories in gaming is one that's hidden from you unless you kind of start to piece it together yourself, and then when you realise exactly how much is there, it's fascinating.
Its strength lies in what it doesn't show, not tell.
Yeah.
Show, not tell. Brian, that's rule one of storytelling. That is show, don't tell.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say he was sad. Set up a reason why he was sad.
Yeah.
Let's know what he was doing in a sad way, so we know he's sad without saying he was sad. I like it. It's clever.
Yeah, I like it. And it also...
Sadness is basically what I was after the unfortunate incident with what I've mentally now named as Sunbro Down. Because I was playing Spec Ops and they kept saying Tango Down, and it's like, oh my god, Sunbro Down. Oh, so yeah, I pulled out an Estus and I moved on to fight the actual boss, the Bed of Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta say, what a great start.
Mm-hmm.
When you go through the fog door and then immediately super fun happy slide. And you get the flashbacks of The Simpsons thinking, oh, I really shouldn't. But when am I going to be here again? Whee! And you go down the super fun happy slide. And you know something horrible is going to be at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Because at no point does this game let you have fun for more than 12 seconds at a time. At no point does it let you enjoy, a delightful area. It's like, nope, something's going to be at the bottom to hurt you.
And this is the boss that Miyazaki actually hated. He didn't think it came off well, and I agree with him entirely.
I can see why.
Yeah, I genuinely think it's cheap.
So basically, so you drop down, and then this kind of tree wakes up. It looks like a tree. Am I on that one? He looks like a tree. And he's kind of the same colour as the roots that you see everywhere. It's like he's like infected the whole bit. He's kind of spread his influence out with his tree bits.
I think it's a she. I think it's another one of the Sisters of Chaos.
Oh, okay. Right, I heard
it might be the mother of the Sisters of Chaos, something like that.
Your mum's a tree. And you kind of see big glowing orange bits. You think, well, okay, that seems like the very clear and obvious thing to run at. Mm-hmm. Ran at one, ////, took it out. I was like, brilliant, great, making progress already. Cutscene kicked in where it showed it kind of, having a bit of a twitch, having a bit of a spaz, and then kind of it kind of extends out like a giant electrical fire scythe.
Yeah.
From its head, and you think, oh god, what have I done? Have I screwed this up? So you panic and you run away, and then the floor starts to fall apart under your feet. Jesus Christ, which I somehow got past it all without falling down the hole. God, I don't know how I did it. Because I was panicking the whole time, going, oh jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez. Mm-hmm. Thought, right, okay, that's one. There's still one more. So I ran around the other side. Still, staying alive. Got around the other side. Took out the other one. Thought, brilliant, right, great. A second electrical scythe came up. Got out, got safe, and thought, now what? And then he killed me. because I was kind of looking and I was dithering and I was kind of thinking, what do I do? And I was kind of just stood there with my shield up thinking, what do I do? What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Before I knew it, I was kind of being punched against the wall. And because I died, I respawned back at...
Oh, way back.
Yeah, I respawned back at the Sister of Chaos, back at the Fair Lady.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'd opened up the shortcut, I was able to run all the way back, and it's quite a long, straight run from her to get back. Like, it's not a short trip, it's a very long...
There's a bonfire that you've missed.
There is one closer, but it is behind all those flame dudes, and I thought, sod it, I'll just live with this one, because all you have to fight... What?
There's two that are closer to that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, bugger.
There's one before you start running across those tree branches.
Yeah, that one.
There's one there that's Lairs normally at, and of those, the sort of half dinosaur things. There's these kind of sections in the center where one of them has got an illusory wall, and there's a bonfire in there, and it's pretty much directly across from that kind of pipe that you run up to go in. It's pretty much directly opposite that.
Oh, I missed that one completely then. I was respawning back at the Fair Lady. So I ran all the way back along this very, very big, long, straight hallway, past where Solaire went down, up to the back of the bridge, and I saw the Titanite demon again.
Mm-hmm.
And I shat a brick. Because I thought, what's he doing? Didn't I kill him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one respawns.
It respawns! And it's good, because great, you've got a source of demon Titanite now.
Yep.
But it's bad, because the bed of chaos is through him. So I had to take him out again with another 100 arrows. And kept going, and then pushing away through and ran past the Weebles.
I'm pretty sure you can get to Bed of Chaos without going through the Titanite demon.
Well, the way I was coming, it was the only way forwards.
I think
I'm sure if I'd known the other one.
Route.
Yeah, it seems we've got an unpopular route, because I spoke to another couple of people about this earlier on today, and they were like, "You went from there?" I was like, "Yeah." Says, what? That Titanite demon respawns? I was like, "Yeah." Says, "Oh, didn't know that."
You want to be going in from one of the other bonfires.
Yeah, but anyway, I killed him and I travelled on through it. Apart from the Titanite demon, it's actually quite an easy run. It's just long. There's literally maybe 5 Weebles in the way the entire trip there. So I got through and I run down the slide again. This time when you go down the slide, it turns on fire as you get to the bottom, which is funny. Again, kind of dithered and panicked a bit, and I looked through the holes in the floor because the holes are still there. Like, his damage doesn't go away. You can still... Like, it doesn't reset the room. The holes are still there, which is brilliant. And I could see something in the floor, like under the floor. I thought, maybe I can jump down there. So I jumped down there. And I died. And I went back to the Fair Lady. Mm-hmm. And I went back through the Titanite demon a third time.
It's where I'm stuck on... I think 2 of my playthroughs now, because I genuinely find that boss so frustrating. Because I think that the last number of times I've done it, I've had the wolf ring on to try and get a little bit of stability.
Yeah.
But it's those bloody hands.
Well, the wolf ring's what I rock as well, as a rule, when I'm in an area like that, and especially where it's got these big sweeping attacks, because it does help you, maintain your poise a bit. And I died maybe 4 or 5 more times in that bit.
All right.
From him, from his wild claws. Because I could avoid the sides, but the claws were getting me every single time. And they were like, even so far as they weren't just damaging me, they were pushing me into the holes.
I think it's difficult as well, because even if you armor up, you suddenly become too slow to really...
Sort of react almost.
Do a lot. So it's this sort of strange... duality, isn't it?
I mean, even with the poise up as well. I had my poise, I got my wolf ring on, so I had quite a bit of poise. And I was just getting stood up still, not getting knocked over, but just pushed into the holes. It was like, for God's sake. And it took about five runs until I managed to make the floor directly in front of him crumble away. To reveal the safety branch. And I was like,
you can dance if you want to.
You can dance.
If you branch and if you don't branch, then no friend of mine.
So yeah, safety branch. And I
Keep a
saw
branch.
safety branch, and I jumped straight
Everybody
down.
look at your branch.
I jumped straight down to safety branch. I thought, brilliant, right. Now then, which way do I follow this? I immediately ran the wrong way,
Uh-huh.
and I fell off the end of the safety branch
Got you.
like a pillock because it looked like it went down. It didn't, and I fell and I screamed a bit.
I'm sure somebody told me that you can drop onto that branch in the middle, and I always thought that you had to run onto it and run and jump onto it.
I just rolled at it.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I rolled at it, but yeah, I let out kind of a strangled sort of sort of strangled noise.
Mm-hmm.
Woke back up, back at the fair lady, went down the big long passage again, fought the Titanite demon again. I mean, I had to go back to Firelink to get more arrows. That's how many times I did this. Like, I was getting through wooden arrows like no one's business. I went back to the bed of chaos, and I went straight for him, and I managed to roll under his claws a couple of times by complete fluke. Flopped onto the safety branch, thought, brilliant, right, I'm going to run the other way, and I sprinted for it, and I ran, and I hacked through the branches that just kind of sit there, kind of his heart, like almost the middle of him, like his core. And
Yeah.
like, if you get past the first couple, he doesn't really bother you from then on. If you can get in, you're basically safe. So I kind of ran through, hacking away, and I got to the middle, and there's like a bug.
Right.
Just like a bug.
Yes,
there.
the creature. Sorry, I thought you were meaning that the game crashed.
No, like an insect, like a creature, like a beetle. I thought, okay, slash, dead, you win.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's no fucking about, isn't it? It's. I think the lesson behind the whole boss is all mouth and no trousers.
Yeah, I was expecting a lot more misery in there, and it was literally just a really ineffective bug that kind of just flopped about. And it's like,
think
was that
that's
the
a little-
Lord?
That's a little bit of a nudge and a wink, perhaps towards the end of Demon Souls as well.
Maybe, actually, that's a good point. With False King or whatever, he became like a slug man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just seemed like a real anticlimax. Like, was that? And then my mind started twirling, and I thought, right, okay, brilliant, got a Lord Soul. Wait, did that bug have a Lord Soul? Like, that's just a bug. What was that doing with a Lord Soul? Was like, I mean, I know he was controlling. Like, was the tree controlling? Because it didn't seem to be attached to the tree bit. It just seemed to be flopping around on the floor, like it was sort of psychically controlling the tree. Tree romancy.
Oh, well done.
Uh,
Because I'm sure I was looking at Bed of Chaos, and it gave sort of a brief explanation. Let me have a look at this. The Witch of Izalith attempted to duplicate the first flame from a soul, but instead created a distorted being of chaos and fire. Its power formed a bed of life, which consumed the witch and her followers. The bed of chaos, source of all demons. So essentially, that creature was trying to duplicate the first flame, and the first flame was going out, wasn't it? So yet again, you're looking at this place that seems dark and seems evil, but she was essentially trying to keep life going.
Trying to help.
And then just turned the entire place into chaos and fire. She destroyed her sons and her daughters. One of ceaseless discharge.
CCD.
Over,
yep.
Yeah, looking over one of the fallen. One of the Spider Sisters is dying. The other one's hunting people down to try and keep her sister alive. It's quite deep.
It's a mean place.
Yeah.
But yeah, it got me Lord Soul, and I felt a bit hollow. Not hollow in the game, in like a kind of empty. It kind of felt like a bit of an anticlimax of a fight. I was ready for something a bit, because it looked really kind of grand, and oh my god, this is going to take forever. But it kind of ended, and I like that it's like, in some ways it's really easy, in some ways it's really difficult. Like, once you're on the branch, you're basically home free. Like, drop down, and it's not like it's a tiny little thin thing. It's quite a big branch, really, to drop onto. So,
yeah,
like, it's just that his attacks that he does when you're getting to that branch are very sweepy and very hard to block.
I think they ran out of time because obviously they didn't get to put in the stuff which became, the extra content in there. But it's one of the great things that Dark Souls 2 is coming out in March next year, that they can give it the degree of polish that they wanted to do with Dark Souls, but didn't get a chance to at that time.
Yeah. I mean, I would have liked, just throwing some, theories out there or ideas, that Bed of Chaos fight. I mean, begin the same way, why not? You've got to smash open a hole to get to his core. Maybe have him punch into that hole. Like a giant wooden fist just punches from behind or grabs you and pulls you out, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if Miyazaki wasn't...
Yeah.
Miyazaki wasn't happy with it, I'd say that's a big deal.
Yeah, I think in general, I think Izalith, it's not one of my favourite areas. Just because I feel like a lot of it is, there's a lot of the Weebles, like almost too many of the Weebles at times. 'Cause it's not that they're even really a challenge. There's just lots of them and you've got to kind of slog through them. It did feel like bits of that area felt like a slog. It's like, oh great, more Weebles, great. Okay, stand behind them, / dead. Wait for the stamina to come back, stand behind the next one, / dead. And it wasn't really a challenge. It was a tedium. The hardest bit was the boss fight and the old trick of a Titanite demon on the middle of a bridge. I mean, the dragons weren't even that. The dragon asses weren't even that much of a problem. And once you get your charred ring, you're basically home free there as well. You can just sprint for glory and suck up the damage. It's a tiny bit of damage you take when you've got the ring on, so you can just travel wherever you feel like.
I think you can be intimidated by the area itself as well, and the way that the area looks, and often that you've been used to tight corridors and small pathways, and suddenly you've got this huge expanse in front of you. And even when they kick in loads of the Capras and loads of the sort of early demons again, like near the start of there, they're not particularly tough, those versions, but they're there to intimidate you.
Yeah, remember me?
I'm the one who had your babies now.
Yeah, they don't scare me as much. The worst one I had for seeing something you'd seen before and had flashbacks was when you're in the painted world and you go into the sewers and the cartwheel guys come at you.
Oh, those guys!
Christ, I cracked a brick.
I think
that's the one that got me.
But part of that is because of, strange as it might sound, is the low ceilings. I think that's really disturbing about it, because I don't know, when you see them previously, you can at least look around and you can look up and you can even be on higher ledges to them. But because you're on one level and the ceilings are low and it's very difficult to see around corners, that's what makes it and it's pitch black as well.
Which doesn't help. No. But yeah, Izalith, I think 7 out of 10. It's not my favourite area by a long stretch. It was all right. It was initially, as you say, quite intimidating, but I think it loses its appeal halfway through when you're just fighting through Weebles one after the other.
Yeah.
I was getting a bit annoyed with it at that. I was like, oh, for God's sake, more bloody Weebles. So yeah, but generally it's okay. I mean, more of the dragon asses would have been good, I think. I know there's like 80 of them, but like more of those later on would have been fun. Like there's one just sort of stood there in the middle of all the Weebles that sprints at you. That would have been good. But anyway, and maybe the boss could have been better. But yeah, it's whatever. Done now. I've only got one. Really, I've got one more area to go, which is the optional one, which I believe is Ash Lake or the Great Hollow, and then it's on. Yeah, it's to go in, isn't it?
Ash Lake's worth going to.
But yeah, I will be. That'll be next time. I'll be going to be tripping to Ash Lake, I believe. But one last story before I go. Before we wrap up, because we are pushing about an hour now. One last story is that early this afternoon I was bit of a free bit of an hour or two free to myself. I thought I'll go on and I'll maybe bro up with someone. I'll just do some soul hunting because I could use some money. I've been leveling up a bit and I want to go and buy all the sorceries off Big Hat Logan, just because I like having all of them. So I'm buying up all the stuff that I don't have now. Because I'm pretty strong. I'm level 100-ish now, so I'm pretty tough now. I like to have all the things. So I've been pottering around and, souling up, and I dropped my sign down in Ulasil. Because that's quite a good... It's been the place that I get summoned the most these days. Because the level I'm at now is the kind of level people are at when they go there. to Udacil, generally. Well, what it seems like anyway. And I was summoned in by a friend, random guy summoned me in, big tanky looking bro with a dragon's tooth. He did the old bow and dropped the old, he dropped the old hello, so I dropped a hello as well, which was fun.
Those vocal chimes, people were hating the thought of those when they were first, when, I don't know, they were first spoken about. Oh no, that won't work. All we need is the gestures. They're terrible, but they are ace.
They're
they
brilliant.
are absolutely ace.
Yeah. I put thank you in my hotbar, so when I got hurt and he was here, I was like, thank you. And we got invaded by a guy. And we're like, okay, because we were sort of travelling through and we just got to where we went down the lift very early on. We're just sort of making our way through the low bit, and it's like, oh, invaded. Ah, crap. So we kind of stood there, we kind of ran around in circles a bit, looking at each other. And he sort of made to go back up the lift, so I followed along. We went back up the lift, and the invader was basically stood right there at the top of the lift. We kind of panicked and ran sort of towards the bonfire. The invader ran away along kind of the big long bridge, and kind of ran in the direction of the warehouse filled with bloatheads. And we were like, okay, So me and the guy whose world it was, we sort of watched him for a bit. And then he jumped on the left. I thought, I know what he's doing. He's going to come back in from the other direction. That's clever. Got on as well, went down, and we kind of sat at the bottom of the lift for a bit trying to work out where he was. And we saw him kind of poke around the corner of the warehouse where the very end of the warehouse where the bloatheads live.
Yeah.
We could see him there. And kind of he was just kind of stood there and not really attacking. And I think he was trying to goad us into there to fight him in there. So I poisoned the bastard. I got me bow out. I selected me poison arrows, and I aimed, and he didn't seem to notice. I was like, right, thwack. I got 2 arrows in before he ran away, and I could see his health bar ticking down. I thought, fucking brilliant, we've got the bastard.
Awesome.
And he just ran. We kind of followed him into the warehouse, because there were maybe 4 or 5 bloatheads in there. Maybe the guy had cleared them out first, but there were 4 or 5 left. So we kind of just were kind of tonking them out, and I could just see the invader's heels vanish up the stairs. And we kind of took out the guys, and we sort of stood there a bit and waited for him to come back, and he didn't come back, and we kind of went up a bit more and sort of chased him round and tried to find him, and 10 minutes we spent trying to find this invader.
Yeah.
10 minutes, and then he left. It's like, you coward.
Because I've had one really bizarre experience there, and I don't know quite what it was, but I had a Black Phantom come through, and they ran away. And when I followed them, the bloatheads and sort of the mystics, if you will, the ones that chuck out the magic, were all looking like Black Phantoms. Yeah, and I wondered if there was some sort of level of control that you can that can be, I know, thrown over them, or it was complete mystery to me.
Yeah, there's definitely a miracle I think you can cast that makes them fight for you for a small time, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm wondering if it was something like that, but I'd never seen it before. I was like, oh, so that's your game.
Kind of interesting. Yeah, but yeah, and then we had another invader shortly afterwards that again played the super coward bro and was just, he pushed on through into the lower part of Udacil, the dark bit with all the humanities in, and was literally just running backwards through the level, standing near the enemies. It's like, you coward. You chicken coward. Fight us like men. And he wouldn't fight us like men, and I ended up getting taken out by... I made a mad dash, because I hit him with a couple of fireballs, like, right, got him on the ropes, and I kind of sprinted at him. I don't know what he did, but it wasn't a backstab, but it was definite kind of 3 hits, I was down. I don't know what weapon he had, but it was definitely crackling with lightning. So I went down, I shot the guy who I was helping with a little sorry bro message, like, it's okay, that guy was being a coward. I was like, yeah, I know, right? And had a nice little chat with him. But yeah, it's when you get an invader that actually wants to fight you, it's okay. I can't stand the ones that hide in among enemies and just wait there. Like, that's just that. It feels cheap. It doesn't feel like it's part of the spirit of the thing. Fight me like a man.
Well, you get those folks who come in for PvP most of the time. They're in it for the good battle.
Yeah.
It's just those that run away.
They're in just to gank and run. And he was definitely one of those quick rollers who have the wood grain ring, I think, so they can do the little cartwheel. kind of just zipping around crazy fast. It's like, oh, you're a ganker. I can see it in your rolling. You're a ganker. But yeah, we went down. The guy was like, yeah, I got killed by him as well. He was being a coward. Boo. But he was like, thanks for the help, Eddie. I was like, don't worry, did my best. And we had a little laugh about the invader that we managed to poison and we couldn't find as well, which was good. Because God knows where he went. I mean, we ran around that whole map at least 3 times, all the way around it, and we couldn't find him.
He was probably just waiting for the right spot to get you, either that or he didn't have a way to perfectly combat the poison, or
maybe, yeah. But it was fun. Poisoning invaders is great because I don't think anyone expects it. Like I've yet to see an invader, like in any of my fights. I've never seen anyone poison each other. I've had bleed damage, yeah, but I've never had poison damage. I think that's interesting. It's not a tactic people use, so maybe there's like items. I know I saw someone mention, because I had a look at it online afterwards, talking about take poison daggers with you. The throwing ones, they're crap.
I told you about that.
Oh, it was you? Oh, yeah, like they're crap. I saw it mentioned on. I was reading up on it on the internet as well this afternoon as well. Like take poison daggers because no one sees it coming.
Somebody attacked me in Anor Londo with that, and I was just thinking, what are they playing about that? But they eventually poisoned me, and I was like, that's a really good idea. And that was one of those battles where I'm not sure if I won or they won, but it could have gone either way up until the last point. But that was a great battle. But
I guess it puts you on the back foot. It puts you on the back foot as well. That, oh crap, my health is now slowly ticking down unless I do something about it. Yeah. So it's not a great deal of health loss you get, but it's enough that if you leave it for a bit, because all the invaders got to do then is just sprint at you, keep the pressure on so you can't heal, which is clever. It's clever and I like it. That's smart. Like it. But yeah, that's all I did in Dark Souls this week. After a month off, that's what I did. And I believe Ash Lake is the next stop, which is in Blighttown, is it not?
Yeah, it's not that much of a challenge. I wouldn't say Ash Lake, but it's a nice place to be, and the Hydra moment is really quite stunning.
I'm queuing up my Free Willy memories in anticipation.
That sounds wrong on several levels.
Yes. And on that, I think we'll call that there then.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Twin Humanities, the Polynauts Dark Souls podcast that we do. If you're listening on the YouTube, which I need to put up for last week, thanks for reminding me. If you're listening on the YouTube, drop us a like, give us a comment. If you're on Polygon, give us a little comment if you're reading this on the Tumblrs or the Twitters or anywhere that you've heard this. Tell us hello.
Yes.
Did you hate the Bed of Chaos as much as I did?
Yes, I think that's the answer.
Was he as crap as you thought? Did you lose Solaire the first time as well? I'd like to hear that. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Solaire.
Poor Solaire, Sunbro down. My name was...
On the quick interjection with Solaire, I did on my new game plus after my first game where I lost Solaire, the point where I met him afterwards and was wearing his gear, I stood next to Solaire and took a photograph. I'm sure it's on my Tumblr, so I'll reblog it onto the Twin Humanities one. But there was no way that I couldn't.
Wicked. I want to see that.
Yes.
But yes, my name was Paddy.
And I'm CJ.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you all. Goodbye.
Fairly well.